Hello, and thank you so much for joining me at my altar this evening. I wanted to share with you my midsummer setup and just talk a little bit about where the inspiration comes from, where the items come from, and why they're here, what they mean to me when it comes to midsummer. Then I thought maybe at the end we could talk a little bit about midsummer ideas and different things that you can do to kind of get in that midsummer spirit if you're not feeling it yet or you're not too sure what you want to do. So the first thing with my depthier, I'm still using my candles that I've been using since the spring. I'm not buying new candles. This one hasn't burnt out yet, so I'm going with a little bit of pink for one of my midsummer candles. Then I have the red one. That one's going to be for a spell that I'm doing on myself. And then I have these two that I found in a bag in my basement that I thought were perfect. Kind of midsummery. They've yellowed from age, and I'll light them on Midsummer Day. Then over here, I have Anubis because I feel like I need him right now. I'm feeling very drawn and connected to him still. I unfortunately lost Mr. Winkles, as some of you guys have probably heard him in the background of videos before. He was my pug. He was 13 years old, and unfortunately his time came. So he's in here by Anubis, and I kind of go to this dream box. It's what I usually use it for, to honor him. And then I have, of course, my Venus, representing the beautiful beach body, just proving that any body is a beach body and that you don't need to let the summertime stress you out. So I have her there. In the shadows, I have my crone back here. She's a little bell. And what I like to do sometimes is I associate the crone, like many people, with the dark time of the year. So I'll keep those images on the altar if I can, but kind of in the shadows to represent that, just to remind me that, even though you can't see something, it's still there. So even though we can't feel and see winter and fall, it's still, that energy is still there. It can still be tapped into. So it's kind of a reminder for that. These flowers here are dried, and they're a flower called Letha's Burden. And I really like them, and they're very pretty and very summery. I got them from an arrangement, so they, again, depthier. I'm not buying things. What else do we have? I have the cauldron going with some Night Queen incense, which smells really amazing. I have some fairies going on. Of course, midsummer, I like to believe that the veil between our world and the world of the unseen is a little bit thinner. So why not invoke some playfulness, a little bit of fun, and have that here. These fairies were given to me by my Aunt Donna, who's also a witch. And I've had them probably since I was about 13 or 14 years old. And somehow they've survived several moves and all kinds of crazy stuff. And they're still here today on the altar. I love these little guys. Okay, what else do we have? I haven't really planned this out. More little fairies on a swing. Some amethyst, rose quartz, and citrine. Those teeth back there, that's a piranha's jaw. My Uncle Larry gave that to me. He was born in August, which is more llamas, but he, I don't know, he was so vibrant and interesting, and just, he had a real bright personality. So I associate him with summer. I have a lot of good memories of him in summertime growing up. So I have him being represented through the piranha's jaw, and it kind of goes with my whole water associating, this time of year with the beach too, because I have some beach stuff happening on this side. Just a little hand. I like the gold. I'm trying to go for a little yellow and gold color scheme. My bell, of course, you guys have seen that before. In that box right here, these are all stones that I've dedicated to Nyx. I actually view Nyx as this box. Like, that is my statue of Nyx. Like, I have a really hard time visualizing her as a woman. When I think of Nyx and I try to connect with her, it's always the night sky, it's always the stars, it's always just this energy. It's like, I don't know how to say this to have it sound correct, but it's like she's bigger to me than an image. Like, she's further away. She's there's just something more. Like, I can't quite put a face on her beauty, so I see her literally as this box. And this kind of reminds me of the stars in the night sky, and there are little stars on the side of the box. So that's my Nyx box. Over here, I have Anthony Bourdain. He is an archetype that I work with quite a bit since his passing, and before his passing, I loved him. I admired him. I felt like I traveled the world with him, like so many other people. He's really the only celebrity death that has affected me in a more profound way. So then I thought, well, I might as well start working with his energy. I am in no way saying I've contacted him or that he's contacted me at all, but I just don't want to sound like a crazy person, but I definitely can think it's kind of like Christians with those "what would Jesus do" bracelets. Well, for me, it's kind of like, what would Anthony Bourdain do? I just kind of think I can ask the universe for some Anthony inspired messages, and I do feel connected to him in a bizarre way. So this is just a little shrine to him. I plan that every June I will be doing some form honoring him in some way. Back here are my wands. When it comes to witches' wands and magic wands, I keep it very simple. These are the same wands that I've had since I pretty much began on the craft. Again, a couple of items that I did manage to save through all of my many moves throughout my life, and they're here on the altar because wands represent fire, right? So bringing that fire energy in. I'm sorry for my shitty camera work, but you're getting a Blair Witch experience tonight, I guess. My goddess back here. I thought this one would be a really nice representation of goddess because it's so bright with the chakras and the different colors, and I'm really trying to go for a happy, bright, just summery kind of feeling, that airy feeling of summer. Here, again, I am not farting. If you hear fart noises, it is the stool I'm sitting on, I swear. I just heard one that was like, and yeah, I just had to clarify that's not coming from my butt. Anyway, sorry for that visual. I have the lighthouse here and the shells that I've picked up on the beach on my journeys. And then this is all full of rocks and shells and things that I've gathered at the beach as little treasures throughout probably the past couple of years to fill this. I usually only take 1 or 2 items when I go to the beach, if that. So just a couple of things that stood out to me that were important, and I've brought them home as little treasures. We have, of course, Mary the Mother right back here. We're still honoring her. I definitely associate her as a spring and summer type of goddess. And the chalice with the little rose. And yeah, I think that's it. Some matches. Let's see. The flowers, which we talked about, Anubis. Yeah, I think that's it for the altar. So what you can do, some little tips from me, I suppose, if you're looking for some ideas to celebrate midsummer. If you're able, definitely have a bonfire, maybe connect with your inner child, make yourself some s'mores or roast some marshmallows, make some form, like you can make s'mores in the oven. So even if you can't do a fire, maybe make a campfire treat, or, I'm not stuck on s'mores either, but you know what I mean? Like you can make some form of treat or something that makes you think about childhood. You could do a drawing down the sun meditation, and that's when you sit outside and you picture the sun coming into your body and filling your body, very similar to drawing down the moon. And you can really fill up with that nice summer kind of energy, that kind of vibe. Go to the beach, make a pilgrimage to a beach or a sacred spot, and just spend some time out in nature, enjoying the summer. Pay attention to the trees, maybe go foraging and see what you can find locally that's magic hiding in your meadows and grooves and forests. You could do some form of summer inspired art, go and do some watercolors, or make crafts with seashells if you can, or even just set up a little altar, even if it's just a couple of candles and something that's really incognito. I think I've kept you enough, so I'm going to stop there. let me know if you have any questions or if you want some more suggestions or anything at all. I am totally open to talking to you amazing people who want to check this, who watch my hot mess and wildness here. So let me know in the comments if you had any questions about drawing down the sun or anything like that. I'm happy to help, and I hope you enjoyed this little kind of ramble at the altar, and I am wishing you the happiest and most blessed midsummer. Until next time, guys. Bye.